FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is November 2nd, 2020, day before the official election day. But of course, as you know, election day has been taking place for weeks now, both in the form of mail-in ballots and early voting. I voted myself last Friday. Well, what's happening in New York City? Where is that heading? We're seeing dire predictions. Perhaps more civil unrest. I don't know the answer to that, but certainly in light of what we've seen, it's a definite possibility. We have the head of the Central Park Civic Association with us. You've heard him before, Michael Fischer. It's great to have you back. Oh, before we continue, just let us know your thoughts. Are we going to see civil unrest in the coming days and weeks ahead as a result of the election outcome? Who do you think is going to win? Michael, it's great to have you back on. So what is happening in the once great city of New York?
Well, as I walk outside my building, they're boarding up hotels and places like Bergdorf Goodman and some of the other major retail establishments getting ready potentially for a Trump victory and a lot of potential unrest in the city as a result of that. So it's getting to be an interesting situation. I myself, I'll be here tomorrow and Wednesday, so we'll see what happens. It should be very interesting for sure.
All right. Maybe we'll get the up-to-the-minute riot reports from you. I read an article last week that said the hotel occupancy rate in New York City is down to 10%. Can that be right?
Maybe even 5%. I mean, most of the hotels are closed. I mean, the Ritz-Carlton is closed on Central Park South. Most of the major hotels are closed. I mean, there's one or two hotels in this area that I know that are open, but that's basically it. So you have most of your major hotels that are shut down for now. Don't know when they're going to be able to open up again. Yeah. Some of them are boarded up too. I mean, like the Ritz-Carlton is boarded up. It's really pretty depressing, to be honest with you.
So are they shut down because nobody is coming, or are they shut down because of government edicts?
Well, I mean, it's very expensive to run these hotels. I mean, no, I think they're closed down because nobody's coming to the city to visit. And the ones that are open, I mean, their occupancy rate is maybe 5 or 10%. So they're really not making any money. It's very expensive to run these hotels with staff and everything. So they're pretty much just closed down. I mean, in my opinion, I think the Ritz-Carlton and some of the other, like Four Seasons, they should open up and just, even just do it at a low occupancy level. I just think I don't know. I don't like the idea of these places being closed. It just sends out a pretty bad signal out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a global depression for sure. Nobody can put any lipstick on this pig. And I guess we see it all over. I read that there's so many, 90% of the restaurants in New York are behind on their rent and may never again reopen.
It's absolutely. I mean, we don't know the extent of the damage right now yet to the city. I mean, I can just tell you, I mean, I like to shop at the local retailers and give them business. That's just the way I am. I'm not an Amazon person, and I probably end up spending a little bit more money, but it's okay. I'd rather keep the local guys in business. But I go around to these stores and you barely see anybody shopping in the stores. I mean, I'll walk through Bergdorf Goodman just to see what's going on there. Not that I'm a shopper there. Maybe if there's stuff on sale, I might have good sales. But, you don't see very many people shopping in those stores. And you wonder, I mean, how much longer can they stay open like that? It's very expensive to keep these stores open. I go into some of the smaller stores. You go into the watch stores on Fifth Avenue and some of the other retail stores, even the cigar stores like Davidoff's. I mean, you don't see anybody in these stores. So it's just a question of, how much longer can these stores take it before they start to run out of the city? I'm hoping that we get a vaccine soon, and I'm hoping that we can get a handle on this crisis. But I really wish that the politicians, specifically in New York City, the mayor and the governor would really try to work things out to get more people to want to come into the city. I mean, my wife and I, we go out to lunches and dinners here. I mean, it's very nice. I mean, the restaurants that are open, you can go inside. They're very nice. They serve great food, good experience. I mean, the shop, going into the stores, very nice. It just really would like to get more people into the city, and there's no reason why we don't have more people in the city, other than the fact that the mayor and the governor don't welcome them in. It's almost like they don't want them here. It's so bad that they actually are chasing people out. They don't want people to stay in the city and live here, and that scares me too. I mean, to the tune of 500,000 to 600,000 people have already left the city and say they're never going to come back again. And the mayor says, well, if they don't want to stay here, we don't want them.
Yeah,
the public relations nightmare from that standpoint.
Well, the guy has always been a moron. Maybe we get the government that we deserve, but you got to wonder, what the heck is wrong with these people? New York City is a place where people go to do stuff and, culture and all of that. And now they've completely destroyed it. And
they have. They really,
so you think it can bounce back from this?
I think it can.
We need Rudy Giuliani to come back, don't we?
Yeah, even Bloomberg. You have him come back. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Bloomberg for some of the things he's doing right now during the presidential elections. I mean, but even having him come back. I mean, fortunately, we only have one more year left with this mayor, and I guess there's a lot of damage he can do for the next 12 months. But we really got to get him out of here and get somebody new in here that is actually going to run this place like a business. But I do think the city can come back. I think we're a great city. It's the greatest city in the world. They're not even putting up a Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center. I mean, that's horrible. I mean, why not? Look, if you're worried about having too many people there, so you put little fences around. You don't let people through. But I mean, put the Christmas tree up. We're not even going to have a parade, the normal parade. I mean, I understand you don't want to have millions of people come in, but I mean, what they want to do is have this small nothing, on one of the streets. But I really think what people need right now is they need to feel good in life. They need to feel good about themselves. They need to feel confident in this country. And what better way to do it? Put up a Christmas tree, light up the city, make people feel good. And these guys just don't get it. And that's the scary part. They don't get it. And the other thing that frustrates me about these politicians is, on one hand, they want to shut the city down, shut their restaurants down, only allow 25% capacity in these restaurants. And they're drawing salaries and they're drawing medical benefits. And, if you're the mayor or the governor, you actually have free housing. I mean, you know what? If you're going to sit there and make those kind of decisions, give up your salary, give up your housing, give up your medical benefits, then I want to see you say, close down these restaurants, close down these retail stores. But you're not in a position to make those kind of decisions when you yourself are drawing your income and everything. I just think it's morally wrong what they're doing.
Yeah, well, these blue governors of blue states, have all turned into a bunch of petty dictators and tyrants here. Yeah. And you look at that one Ava Braun Whitmer there from Michigan. I mean, she is basking in this power, and the courts are trying to rein her in. But she keeps on coming up with more edicts faster than the courts can strike them down. And, what are we supposed to do with people like this?
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Arcana Corporation is on the verge of bringing the world's highest grade silver mine into production. The Revenue Virginius mine in Colorado has proven improbable silver reserves grading nearly 37 ounces per ton silver, with an all-in sustaining production cost of only US $8 per ounce of silver. The mine is fully permitted with infrastructure already in place, and the company has announced they plan to commence production in 2020. Achieving successful production usually results in a significant upward share price re-rating on the Lassonde curve. Arcana trades under the ticker AUN in Toronto and AUNFF in New York. To learn more, go to arcana.com. That's AURCANA.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Well, you know what bothers me the most is hypocrisy. Okay, so on one hand, she's creating all these regulations. On the other hand, her husband's going on a boat on the lake, So, I mean, I think that's wrong. On one hand, you have, the governors and mayors telling us we have to wear masks. And on the other hand, we get them on videotape not wearing masks.
Yeah, all the time.
On one hand, they say, we got to close places down. You can't have a lot of people. I mean, in California, for example, the governor doesn't want to have people to have Thanksgiving with more than a certain number of people, and they want their parties to end by a certain time at night. That to me makes absolutely no sense. And on the other hand, it's okay if you want to protest and have 10,000 people protesting on the streets without masks. So there's so much hypocrisy here that I find very frustrating.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. It's just terrible. And everyone is kind of fed up with it, that's for sure. And so solutions here, are we going to get some decent people running for office in New York who are going to reopen this thing?
Well, I think there's possibility we may have a couple of decent people running. I really do. I think there's potentially a couple of people that are running that I think have a little bit more common sense. I'm actually going to go out and meet them and try to learn a little bit more about them and see who I think I would want to put my support behind. But I don't think we're going to get anybody, unless, I'm going to knock on wood, but I don't think we're going to get anybody as progressive and left-wing as de Blasio.
I don't know if that's possible, but, the city's bankrupt. It's facing bankruptcy, imminent bankruptcy. All of its spending is going to have to be curtailed, and big changes are going to have to come about in the way it does business, or badly does business the way that it does now. And there has to be a realization by the public that you can't expect government to be doing all the things that it's going to expected to do in the past. If they can just keep the streets clean and keep everybody safe, stop the place from burning down, stop the rioters, I think the person will be considered very, very successful term, the person who follows.
I mean, they're doing so many of the wrong things, like defunding the police, getting rid of, people on the streets that aren't wearing uniforms. They have cashless bail, where people are just being released out of court without having to put up any bail. And a lot of these people have multiple felonies or misdemeanors on their records. It's really creating a very dangerous situation. The other thing is the politicians aren't sending a message to people who are criminals, who are violent criminals. I mean, you got to send a message out there. I mean, like what Trump does. If you tear down a national statue, you go to jail for 10 years. I mean, we have to really create laws and apply them equally to people if they're going to go out and riot and destroy businesses and break windows or shoot people with guns. I mean, we have to get these people, lock them up, and really send a message out there so that other people don't feel it's okay to do those things. And unfortunately, we don't do that. So people take it as, okay, it's okay to do it. I mean, it looks like, the mayor and the governor think it's okay for us to do this, so we'll do it. But I mean, so help me, on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, if we have any serious rioting here and people are being shot at and businesses are being destroyed, that is really going to upset me. I mean, that is really going to be the straw that broke the camel's back, because that should not be taking place in New York City or any of the cities throughout this country. People shouldn't feel unsafe. The mothers with their kids shouldn't feel unsafe. And for politicians, if they allow this, and this is going to be a real test, if they allow this, then, there really needs to be, we really are going to need to reflect on this seriously, because this is something that shouldn't be allowed to happen in cities. People's businesses all over the place are being destroyed. I mean, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Harlem, Bronx. I mean, there could potentially be rioting where that happens, and it shouldn't happen. And, a lot of times they fly these people in, they bus these people in to do this kind of stuff. And it's wrong.
It really is. And one of the main functions of government is public safety, protection from enemies within and without. And basically, Killer Cuomo, hashtag Killer Cuomo, because he's so good to the people in the nursing homes, overseeing the death of over 13,000 nursing home patients, and that moron Comrade de Blasio. Between the two of them, they didn't lift a finger to stop the riots before, to stop the mass looting, to stop anything. And now, the definition of insanity, Michael, it's doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. To think that they're going to lift a finger now, I don't think so. And where's the police commissioner? This is a case where the police commissioner says, screw you, mayor, governor, I'm stopping it now. But yet you have a weak commissioner who's just at their beck and call.
They won't do it because the minute you do that, the mayor calls you and you have to throw your badge on his desk.
Yeah, and you know what? You refuse to do it. They need a mutiny in the police department.
Maybe the commissioner's position should be, maybe shouldn't report into the mayor. Maybe that should be sort of an independent position. I don't know.
Yeah, elected like a sheriff.
Maybe it should be elected. I mean, that's something to think about because, you got to let the police do their job. I have to tell you that I am extremely impressed with the New York Police Department. I mean, I go on the streets all the time and I talk to these guys and gals, and they're really great people. And the other day it was we've had a problem with this building next door to our building. It's one of the tallest residential buildings that's under construction, and they had some problems with the crane, and there's glass coming down, so they shut down part of the road. Yeah, so that's right next to our building. So we're having a lot of fun with that, but kidding around, of course. Yeah, sure. But I was standing there, and there was an officer. He was escorting one of our senior women who, needed to get to where she lives, and he was carrying all her stuff, and he was escorting her all up the street. And I took a picture of it. I actually sent it out to one of the newspapers. It'd be nice if the newspapers print some positive things for a change. And he was escorting her up the street. It was just a classic picture of what New York, police and our fire department.
What it's really about.
Are all about. Yeah, they're all great people. I talk to them all, and
that's hopeful. That's really a sign of hope.
I walk up to all of the police that I see, and I always tell them how much, we appreciate everything they do, and to keep up the good work, and to please, do what you're trained to do, and don't think twice about it. Just do what you're trained to do. And when you get into emergency situations, they're all good people. I honestly haven't spoke to a New York cop that I don't like. I mean, they're all good people.
Yeah, agreed.
Even when you get pulled over, they're good people. I mean, they're nice people. They know how to handle people. They're good on the streets, and we need them. And everybody wants them, whether you're living Midtown Manhattan, downtown, Bronx, Harlem, Queens. Everybody wants them, and everybody wants to feel safe. So anybody who says to the contrary is full of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mayor de Blasio. But the sooner he's gone, the better. And, the one other thing I'll just conclude with, the fact of the matter is there's no right to recall politicians through election in New York. However, the governor has the power to remove any local official for dereliction of duty or misconduct. So he could have removed de Blasio anytime he felt like it. So the fact that he didn't, it just shows that he is complicit and behind and in favor of everything that's happened so far. And I hope that
or he's afraid of something, or he's afraed of something.
Whatever the reason.
He threatened to remove him. He threatened to remove him a couple of times, by the way.
And he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Something wrong there. Absolutely. Could not agree with you more. Well, that's it for now. Hey, Michael, just tell us where we find you, how we connect with you on the web.
www.centralparkcivicassociation.com.
All right. Excellent organization. Keep up the great work. Keep up the fight. Keep up the hope. We can't let them beat us.
We love to fight. That's how you make change.
That's the sign of a true New Yorker. Hey, what's your opinion out there? Do you think New York's going to recover? Send us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Our Twitter feed is @KerryLutz. Facebook page, Financial Survival Network. And, of course, our website, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Sign up for a free newsletter. Michael, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.